Hello, and welcome to THWACKcamp 2018, SolarWinds' largest annual virtual learning event. We're excited to have all of you with us today, and we expect that this will be the biggest THWACKcamp ever. Except, I think I said that last year, and in 2016, and the year before that, but it's true. And I speak for everyone at SolarWinds when I say that it's truly a privilege to be a part of this live gathering of experts drawn from over 275,000 customers and 150,000 registered members of the THWACK community. Notice that I didn't say user community, because THWACK is open to everyone. And again, this year there's a lot to share. Some of our most trusted products have been extended with new functionality, but we also have new products like Orion Platform Modules, cloud-native services, and new MSP technology. And as always, the main focus of THWACKcamp is helping our community get the most out of these new capabilities. Following our session tracks and live Q&A, we hope that you'll leave THWACKcamp tomorrow afternoon armed and ready to take on your newest and toughest challenges. But this event is also an opportunity for us to share details about SolarWinds, the company. And in a moment, we'll hear from Joe Kim, Executive Vice President of Engineering and Global CTO, and Denny LeCompte, Senior Vice President of Product Marketing. And they will share their thoughts on the technical vision of SolarWinds in the age of accelerating hybrid IT, along with the spirit of SolarWinds and how it's driven by you, the members of THWACK. Now, one quick note before we begin. While the THWACKcamp keynotes are open to everyone, the heart of our virtual conference requires a THWACK logon. And over the next couple of days, you're going to have access to 16 sessions and 2 tracks, so be sure to check out the schedule and build the session list that's most useful to you. And of course, the main reason you'll want to log in is that it activates the live chat. That's real-time Q&A with the experts that'll be presenting our sessions. So bring your toughest questions, because as always, that's why we're here. Of course, again this year, by popular demand, we'll be doing geeky giveaways live with both after session and a grand prize. And your THWACK logon is your key to entry. And last, it wouldn't be a conference without a SolarWinds booth. Even if it's virtual, you can still get t-shirts. Because with your logon, you can earn enough points by registering, attending sessions, and providing feedback to shop in the THWACK store. And if you're new to THWACK, or link your THWACK and customer portal accounts, you might end up with socks or something really cool. So again, you don't have to do it now. But before the beginning of the next session, make sure that you log in. It only takes a few seconds, maybe a minute if you don't already have an account. All right, I'm sure you want to get started, so let's welcome our first speaker. Last year, he spoke to you about some of the trends that SolarWinds and SolarWinds customers were tracking in 2017. And over the last year, you've seen new product capabilities added and new products launched to address them. With the state of SolarWinds for 2018, please welcome back SolarWinds Executive Vice President of Engineering and Global Chief Technology Officer, Joe Kim.
Thanks, Patrick. First of all, I want to thank all of you for attending THWACKcamp 2018. We have a packed agenda, and I hope all of you have fun learning best practices and some of the new features and products that we have introduced over the past 12 months. Much like last year, before you go into your sessions, I want to provide some insight into our perspective on the technology market and what my R&D team and I deliberate about when building software to help customers through this dynamic and ever-changing landscape. In regards to the market, hybrid IT continues to be the modus operandi. Still about 78% of all infrastructure sits on-premise, either provisioned and used as bare metal or in the private cloud. And although the pace of public cloud spend continues to outpace that of on-prem, growing at 10% versus 2%, the spend is projected to continue to grow in all places where infrastructure sits, which is great news for technology professionals everywhere. This is a change from 4 to 5 years ago when many believed that hybrid IT would be just a transition period toward eventually managing all infrastructure in the public cloud. Today, all indications are that hybrid IT will be the norm moving forward. Not only is this the analyst data signifying this norm, and we are seeing this also reflected in the SolarWinds IT Trends report, it just makes good sense from a technology and an economics perspective. To give you an example, here at SolarWinds, we utilize a combination of private and public infrastructure. This hybrid development provides the best experience for our customers across the globe, as we can ensure that we have infrastructure near our customers, but also from a dollars and cents perspective, it makes sense. Public cloud vendors make money when you have your data in the public cloud, and they make it costly for you to take information out of the public cloud. For those services where you need to readily take information in and out, it is actually cheaper for you to host that type of service, like for us, SolarWinds Backup, yourself. Many other software vendors also utilize hybrid deployment as their general practice. For example, a few years ago, Dropbox made some noise moving away from hosting purely from the public cloud to a hybrid hosting model. Again, as this made the most business and economic sense for them. Now with the growth in all areas of infrastructure and the increase in the type of devices and technologies that a business needs to manage, the technology professional's job, your job, continues to become more and more challenging. Today, a tech pro needs to manage servers, containers, virtual machines, storage, network, applications, business services, users and devices both utilized on-premise and from the cloud. Not only are these more technologies to manage, but they need to determine where they want to manage from. Does a SaaS monitoring solution make more sense for you? Maybe on-premise. Maybe you need a little bit of both. The major reason SolarWinds continues to expand our portfolio to become a full hybrid IT management platform for on-premise, cloud, and hybrid, for system, network, database, application, end users, logs, and security, is to help our customers handle all of this growing complexity. Just in the past 12 months, we have released new features and products like PerfStack, Log Manager, AppOptics, and Threat Monitor to continue expanding the breadth of our portfolio as well as its depth. All of these were capabilities and innovations that you, our community, helped us identify as something that you wanted solved. In R&D, what we want to make sure is that we deliver these capabilities to you in a SolarWinds way. For us, what SolarWinds way means is to create products that solve your problems today, the way you want them solved, out of the box. And at SolarWinds, we're able to achieve products that deliver this promise by utilizing two key strength areas. One, utilize the power of our technology and platforms, Orion for on-premise, AppOptics for cloud, and RMM for MSP. And two, ensure that we're always taking your point of view into consideration when building a solution. Normally when vendors speak about platforms, they're talking about a technology powerhouse, a specialized engineering solution, which they are also very often complex and expensive, and just one more thing that you have to buy to get full functionality. And very early in SolarWinds history, when we integrate our first two solutions into the Orion platform and created them as modules, we faced the same decision. If customers want a more combined capabilities with Network Performance Monitor and Network Traffic Monitor into a common dashboard, would they want to buy a third platform product that connected them? SolarWinds customers made it abundantly clear that the answer was no. They had no interest in paying for or installing a third thing just to extend the feature of NPM. So we did something different. We developed the Orion platform to support our on-prem products. Today, when customers name the product they rely on to ensure their operations run smoothly, they usually say Orion, which is interesting because it doesn't have a SKU. You can't buy Orion. Instead, the Orion platform is a common set of services, UI, dashboards, alerting, reporting, APIs, and more, that's part of every on-prem product. So when we talk about the power of SolarWinds platforms, we're talking about a unique anti-platform goal. Our customers generally start with a module or two and expand over time in adjacent operational areas, combining networking, virtualization, application, storage, change management, security, and more, into an easy-to-use, easy-to-maintain dashboard. The power of SolarWinds platform is that we turn the traditional vendor model upside down. Customers should never be surprised by extra integration costs. Assuming new operations responsibilities is challenging enough, and the last they need is simultaneously increasing tool complexity, SolarWinds products must just work. Last year, I talked about our new challenge of cloud. Not just increasingly cloud-native complexity for application builders, but also hybrid IT, cloud integrations into traditional IT teams. And recently, we released AppOptics, a SaaS-based service for cloud-native and distributed applications. It's a new product, launched as version 1.0, but not really. Just like we did with Orion platform, AppOptics combines the powerful features from mature standalone products into a common platform we can extend over time to match the changing needs of customers. Once again, as customers expand from cloud infrastructure, monitoring, to custom metrics dashboards, to distributed tracing and beyond, they won't have to pay for premiums to integrate them together. They should just work, so cloud customers can get back to doing what they love, building applications. I'm sure you can see from the pattern here the technology philosophy that underpins all SolarWinds products, now extending to RMM for MSPs, APM for on-prem customers, and beyond. Platforms should always refer to common services and features that smoothly combine multiple capabilities into a common interface and not surprise anyone with complexity and cost. The second key strength area is the unique way we take our customer's point of view. And that's made possible by something you'll hear about many times over the next 2 days. And you can probably guess what it is already. It is THWACK, our user community. Because at SolarWinds, our community is an integral part of our development process. It's not just support. And I don't mean the dozens of product managers and support engineers you interact with every day on THWACK, but development as well, the team that actually writes our code. And more than that, the user experience group on THWACK democratizes access. It allows you to talk to senior developers and designers and architects who write the code and design the interfaces you use every day. THWACK's usability group member, or usability buddy, aren't specially hand-picked customers. Instead, the opportunity to help set the direction and determine final functionality is open to all members of our community. It doesn't matter if you're a customer with 100,000 employees or an army of one. We encourage all customers to share their unique point of view, details only known to career operations experts in your role. Ensuring our users maintain an unobstructed conduit to our products is at the core of SolarWinds and how we deliver our special opportunity to deliver tools made by engineers for engineers. Here at SolarWinds, we'll continue to be busy building great software, providing solutions to problems that impact customers today. We love technology, but we are not about selling just technology. We want to solve real-world problems, any level of technology professional and business, from the very small to the large. Management of cloud infrastructure still is relevant and important. And with that, welcome to THWACKcamp 18.
One of the first things that you may notice again at THWACKcamp isn't just the expansion of SolarWinds products and features since Joe's keynote last year. And that happens pretty often at THWACKcamp. Instead, we hope that you see what SolarWinds does as we follow the needs of our customers. And this year, it's visible in 2 words that he used, Tech Pro. And there's a reason for that. In some circles, SolarWinds is synonymous with IT, especially on-prem networking. But we offer tools for so many other areas of operation, and have for a long time. And if you've been at a big conference like Cisco Live, Microsoft Ignite, or AWS reInvent, you know how swamped the booth is, and it gives us often a chance to talk with you in small groups. And it's so great to watch network engineers be surprised that SolarWinds offers a powerful multi-database performance tool like DPA, or LIM, SAM, or Pingdom customers discover that we're the world leader in network monitoring. Because operations is so siloed, with thick walls between networking, application, security, and cloud, admins can go years before they realize that there have been other customers in many areas of IT for over a decade, and in some cases nearly 2. But you'll hear us increasingly mention technology professional because what you're telling us, and what our surveys like the SolarWinds IT Trends Report reveal, is that that reality is changing. In the world of hybrid IT, of on-prem, cloud, and outsourcing, you are less and less focused only on networking, application, security, or cloud. You're solving new problems using more new platforms and technologies than ever before. You're taking on distributed applications for the cloud with APM techniques. Or you need to ensure great digital experiences for users and service APIs. Or you're a cloud SRE who needs cloud-native tools plus visibility into firewalls, VPNs, and wireless networks. Technology professionals are the stars of operations, and they no longer fit into neat, designated categories. They're problem solvers, identified by the challenges that they're addressing, picking and choosing tools from a spectrum of options based on need. They don't want expensive, prepackaged, one-size-fits-all solutions from vendors who are eager to tell them who they are and what they need. And you do this because you recognize that your business is changing, and you're eager to use this unique period in technology history to finally move past long-standing, reactionary gridlock. You're ready to do what you've always wanted to do most, to truly and finally become proactive. And SolarWinds has always believed that you know more than anyone what you actually need. So when you hear us say Tech Pro, when we're talking about technology professionals, this is what we're talking about. So now many of you are curious how SolarWinds adapts our products, but also our company over time. And if you've been a customer for 5, 10, or 20 years, you might also be curious how SolarWinds has maintained that core focus, Joe's second key strength area of taking your point of view for nearly 2 decades. So to discuss that, we're proud to welcome back a longtime member of the SolarWinds family, Denny LeCompte. And in fact, Denny gave the first THWACKcamp keynote in 2012, and is a very familiar voice on THWACK. Many of you have had great conversations with him in product forums over the years. So, to share SolarWinds' secret ingredient, please welcome Senior Vice President of Product Marketing, Denny LeCompte.
Thanks, Patrick. And thanks to you all for taking the time to attend THWACKcamp 2018. Joe talked about the market and how we at SolarWinds plan to address it. Before we go into the regular sessions that cover technology and IT best practices, I wanted to talk about you, about the people of THWACK. To truly understand the importance of THWACK community to our product process at SolarWinds, let me tell you a little bit about how most companies build products. There are a few common approaches, all of which I've experienced directly in my career. Some companies let the engineers build what they think customers should want because it would be cutting edge and it would be cool. Their engineers may never have met a customer or watched a customer do their job. So to this day, when I hear somebody say, "Wouldn't it be cool if," I immediately think, danger, Will Robinson. Other companies just tie their roadmaps to the big analyst firms. Those analysts have various schemes for ranking vendors, and if you conform to their criteria, they rank you highly. But most analysts are focused on the needs of very large enterprises because that's who pays them for advice. The end result is your roadmap has a large bias, in fact, has a bias to largeness, and a bias to the newest, most cutting-edge features focused on the newest technology, because that's what the big companies want. Maybe the most common way to drive a roadmap is to let your largest customers drive it. And having been a PM in that environment, I'm sympathetic. If your top 5 customers control half your annual revenue, it's hard not to do what they want. But this path leads to some idiosyncratic features because large companies often need peculiar things that are specific to their environment. So if you've ever looked at a product and thought, why on earth did they do that? Well, there's probably $1 million deal with that oddball feature as a contingency. So what do we do at SolarWinds? Well, we don't build it because it's cool. And while we talk to analysts, they don't drive our roadmap. And although we do have some really large customers, we don't do features specifically to get those deals. So no single customer is so big that they can dictate our roadmap. Instead, we do our best to build products aimed at providing the most benefit for the most customers. Moreover, we try to build products that solve existing, well-understood problems, not theoretical problems that people might have if a certain technology actually catches on. So people ask how we know what our customers want. And I tell them we have a strong and vibrant user community and that there are tens of thousands of customers on THWACK talking to each other and talking to us every day. Frankly, if there's something they want, they won't stop talking about it. So all we need to do is listen. Of course, THWACK is special. THWACK didn't just happen. So how did THWACK come to be what it is? For really long-time customers, they know that THWACK was built out of the SolarWinds support forum. And most companies have a support forum, but it's rare that that forum turns into a community. And trust me, we didn't decide to make it into a community. It made itself into a community. All we did was recognize it, put the THWACK name on it, and nurture it. So why did the community form at SolarWinds and not elsewhere? Well, I think part of that is because we decided to be part of that forum. In the earliest days, the founder was a regular participant. Later, the developers and other technical employees at SolarWinds were also participants. And in 2006, we moved the company to Austin. We hired some product managers, and those product managers kind of took over that role, and they began to participate on a daily basis. It's my strong belief that one of the critical reasons that people keep coming back to THWACK and participating in the forums is that SolarWinds employees are an active part of the community. Product managers and other employees listen, and our users know we're listening. I've certainly been on product forums for other companies where it feels like you're talking but nobody's listening. You're talking into a void, and that's no fun. So we participate, we listen. That's great, but in the end, listening has to translate into action. What does action mean for us? Well, SolarWinds is a product company. We make things, we make products. So the needs and wants and frustrations expressed by our users on THWACK have to show up in the product, or it's just talk. But then how do you look at thousands of posts and turn that into product decisions? Well, there isn't any one way. In the early days, we might just count the threads and see how many people were asking for stuff. Sometimes we would just ask people directly, like, hey, we've got this idea, what do you think? And then look at the feedback that the community gave us. And of course, the community isn't identical to the forum. We have regular contact with THWACK members outside of the forum. We get on web meetings with them. We invite them to provide feedback. And we talk to them about their jobs, about their pain points. And if you ask an IT professional what sucks about their job, you can learn a lot. Sometimes we also don't really have a product yet. We just have an idea, and we bounce that off of users, and then we gauge their response. What we found is that THWACK members tend to be nice, so they rarely tell us in response to an idea, that's dumb. But we've learned that if everybody says, oh sure, that might be useful, what they mean is, that's dumb, don't do that. So when we bring you a good idea, something we should build, what we hear from you is, when is the beta? Can I be a participant? How much is it going to cost? Right? You really show that you want the product. That's the relationship we have. One of the other big milestones on THWACK was when we introduced voting on features. These days, lots of companies have voting. Anyone can suggest a feature and anyone can vote it up. You end up with way too many suggestions when you do it that way, and it's hard to get clear wins. When we did it, we insisted on a little more editorial control by the product team. Before anyone can vote on a feature, the PMs have to decide whether it's something we can and might implement. Some features requests get marked as won't implement. And we do that because there's no point in letting everybody vote on something we know we won't do, or at least we won't do it for now. What's an example? Well, the prototypical example in the early days was put Orion on Linux. And we think about that, and what that would mean is rewriting the product from scratch. Given that we don't have infinite resources, we've never wanted to do that because it would mean the current Windows code base couldn't move forward. So why is it important that we say no? Well, because we think of this as a relationship, and in any good relationship, transparency and honesty are cornerstones. Another big milestone for THWACK was the introduction of THWACKcamp, which we started in 2011. THWACKcamp was and is a way for us to give back to the community that's been so critical to our success. The last milestone in the community that I'll mention is the SolarWinds user group, or SWUG. SolarWinds has never done large events where we invite people over and they all fly in and they pay a bunch of money, and we don't do that because it's really expensive. And for many users, they'd pay more to attend the event than they did for the SolarWinds product that they actually own. That just doesn't make any sense. In place of big events, we introduced the SolarWinds user group, or SWUG. SWUGs are local, SWUGs are free to users. We fly out some of our technical folks, we share some knowledge, we meet people face to face. If you haven't attended a SWUG, you should check it out. There are times when we can't always do what people want as fast as they want it. But the social contract between the product teams and the THWACK community is something we take seriously. When we can't deliver a high demand feature because of resource or technical constraints, we actually feel guilty, like we're not living up to expectations. But when we can deliver, it's the best. I was in a meeting just a few weeks ago where a PM was super excited because his next release was going to address the #1 request from THWACK. THWACK changes lives. Several of our biggest THWACK members have realized that they were so intellectually and emotionally evolved with THWACK and with SolarWinds that they eventually became employees. And if you've been to a local SWUG, you've seen great presentations, not just from SolarWinds product gurus, but from THWACK MVPs as well. THWACK members don't just talk, they're experts in action, guiding, encouraging, sharing their knowledge with the next generation of SolarWinds users. I'll end this on a slightly personal note. THWACK certainly changed my life. I joined SolarWinds back in 2006 with a naive yet arrogant thought that I would help bring some professional product management to the place. Instead, SolarWinds introduced me to the community of IT professionals that eventually became THWACK. The daily interaction with that community made me into a more connected, more empathetic product manager, and it's hard to get that anywhere else. I actually left SolarWinds for a while, and I came back because building products without a community as a partner feels like writing a love letter to somebody you've never met. What's the point? If you're going to spend your days building products, it's better to build them for people you know well, for your community. So thanks again, and have a great time at THWACKcamp.
How do I follow that? Remember at the beginning of this keynote when I said that everyone at SolarWinds is excited to be a part of THWACKcamp? That's what I'm talking about. From support to developers to executives, we all look forward to this annual event because it's a congress in the classic sense. And when SolarWinds community is interacting, especially in a live, multidisciplinary forum, you tell stories about solving problems, sometimes even more challenging than we can imagine, and we have heard a lot in 20 years. And at THWACKcamp, as always, we're here to help. Live chat will be just to the right of the video feed for our sessions, and afterward for Q&A, and of course, for THWACKcamp fun, like the community awards and prize drawings. So be sure you bring your questions about anything that you ever wanted to know about SolarWinds products, or even about general challenges in your environment. We're here to answer them and to talk about what you're working on. This year's sessions include security, optimization, automation, gaining better visibility, network monitoring for system administrators, recommendations from federal government, managing microservices, backup, and data protection. And there are also a couple of career development sessions about becoming a leader in your organization and how to avoid common security mistakes. Now, of course, to attend these sessions both today and tomorrow, you will need to be logged into THWACK after this keynote ends. And remember, you can pick up over 5,000 points by participating over the next couple of days, just by signing up, attending sessions, and providing feedback. If you're new to THWACK, or you're a customer and you link your THWACK and portal accounts, you might also earn enough THWACK points, not just for a t-shirt, but also socks or something else cool. So if you're not already logged in, be sure to click on the log button on the event page. Even if you need to create an account, it should only take a minute or two. Of course, I know that you're not just here for the geek giveaways like a custom backpack or convertible beanbag with the Oregon Trail mini game or an Xbox bundle, a Yeti Rambler, custom shoes, a Sonos Beam with Alexa, Darth Vader toaster, a gift card, Bluetooth speaker, or Bose headphones, or of course the grand prize tomorrow, which is an awesome HP PC. And if you are interested in the details, just check the prize listing and eligibility requirements in the FAQ. But of course, you will need to be logged in. All right, we're going to head on over to chat now, and we're really looking forward to seeing you there. And thanks again for being the most important part of our conference, the sharp technology professionals of the SolarWinds community. I'll see you in a moment, and have a great THWACKcamp.